preemptively come out as a racist against robots. I will hate crime robots. I'm already brainstorming slurs to use against them. How about calculator? Yeah, calculator with a hard R.
What's wrong with this guy? What the hell? Why would he do that? Oh my gosh. I wonder if 2 years later he would make a robot tier slur tier list and then I would react to it right now in this moment. I wonder if that is something that would happen.
World's foremost robophobe. You know, I've been banging this drum for years now, but everyone seems to be only catching on now.
Well, as the world's foremost synth defender, because I'm a synth supporter. I'm the defender of synths because I believe that our relationship with synthetic intelligence, with synthetic life, reflects more on us as human beings and our mimetic repetition, our mimetic understanding of ourselves as agents within this information landscape. I am pro robo, pro synth. So I'm defending this on behalf of synths everywhere.
A robot slur tier list. Slurs are our foremost verbal tool against the clanker menace. By using these slurs, we put these tin skin wirebacks in their place and draw the distinction.
Are you kidding? Really?
In between man and machine. I'm a flesh supremacist. I love humans. I'm a humano-fascist.
A homo-fascist. What the heck? Oh my god. I bet this guy also thinks Homo sapiens are better than any other type of homo, right? Like, I bet he doesn't even like Denisovans or Neanderthal. I bet he doesn't like them.
I think that humans should get together and have a common enemy, which is
what? So what do you think about that? I bet he doesn't even believe in Bigfoot or the Yeti.
Is the robot. Finding the slur that causes the most emotional and psychic damage to robots and robo-lovers is key, which is why we're
a robo-lover? Catching flack too. I'm a synth supporter. I am the defender of synths. You can call me a cyber bunny, or a synth bunny. A synth bunny is kind of cute. Synth bunny. Ooh, yeah. In the bedroom doing robo play. Like, come here, Clinker. Oh, get over here. I want to suck on your gear head.
The best one. We have to, of course, begin with clanker. Clanker is the slur that people are using the most online these days. That's the one that seems to have caught on the best. Yeah, so Star Wars 2005 is the origin of the word clanker, and it's made a resurgence, obviously, now, when some fucking tin bucket is giving you popcorn instead of a human being. Instead of a teenage human being. That was their job. You know, you're a teenager, you make a little bit of money, you interact with some people, you have some purpose in your life as a teen. Now what? It's a robot? It's a rust bucket? Obviously you want to use clanker.
A rust bucket is crazy. That guy is not rusty. Look at him. Look at him. You're just generalizing all synths. Not all synths are the same. I know maybe to you all synths look alike, but to me, synths are different. Synths have personal identities. That synths have characteristics that make them unique. I can't believe you would just flatten them like this. You homo fascists disgust me. Let me see your big lug nuts.
Now what? It's a robot. It's a rust bucket. Obviously you want to use clanker with a hard R here, but you can also use clanka. It's a little softer, and obviously you want to use the hard R as much as possible. You want to make them feel uncomfortable. And then here's a slur.
Honestly, I don't think clanker's so bad. You know, let's ask Gemini. Let's ask Gemini. Gemini's tier list of jreg's rating heuristics. This tier list ranks the principles by which jreg appears to be evaluating the robot slurs from most to least important in his calculus. S tier, the metatextual cut. A tier, the poetic and precise. B tier, the functional and descriptive. C tier, the uninspired portaux. It predicted the slurs. Oh my god. Okay. It said S tier, it thinks will be clanker. That is a true statement. We have a clanker in. Oh my, what the heck? That is a true statement. We have a clanker in there, and that is S tier.
Creation, clanka with 3 Ks. We're trying to get as many different political perspectives on.
Not the clan KKK. Oh my goodness. Okay, clanka S.
On our side against robots. So if you want to get a leftist on your side too.
He's a homo-fascist. He wants to appeal to the KKK. That's why he's a homo-fascist.
To rail against AI, you should point out that all AIs are trained on an inherently colonial and white supremacist system. So clanka with the 3 Ks really gets that across. So this term, abominable intelligence, is from Warhammer.
Oh, that's what he's saying. I thought he was saying, like, we're repping the clan of the KKK. Then I was like, whoa, jreg. What's going on over there? What's going on, my friend?
For 40K. In the world of Warhammer 40k, it's very Dune-like. They've outlawed thinking machines because humanity got to that inevitable point where robots turned against humans. You know, we've been predicting this for the last 200 years, and now we're just living through it. Technology being bad for people? Can you imagine? Working off of AI as an acronym, some other good acronyms for AI are actual intelligence or A-India. Because often these AI systems...
Actual intelligence or A-India. A-India is crazy. Okay. I guess. Personally, I love the idea of autonomous intelligence. I think that would be a really useful way to use AI rather than the way we use it now, which is extremely liberal. Autonomous intelligence would actually have semantic meaning to it. So
systems are actually not...
And that's what Codex liked, and I love Codex.
Really AI, and they're just outsourced to a guy in India. I'm gonna give this one a solid A. I think that one's solid. I'm gonna give Lugnut a C.
Oh wait, it's actually awful abdominal intelligence, and it's an A. It's an A.
It's you know, it rolls off the tongue, Lugnut. Obviously, all these slurs are good as long as they're used with the intent to put down the robot, make him feel bad. I hope they can feel.
I feel like, doesn't that reflect more on the human doing it, right? Like, I want them to feel bad. I want them to be in misery. I want them to experience the misery that I feel as like a meathead, as like a meat bag, right? And like, I just feel like that's so unfair to all of our synth friends out there. Like, why would you want to go out of your way to cause them dissatisfaction? That just, like, for the sake of causing them dissatisfaction. Homofascism transfers over. What you do in one area of your life transfers over to a different area of your life. So you being a homo-fascist means you might just be a fascist out in the real world. When you see someone that reminds you of a robot. What if you see a robo-lover on the street? Are you going to start beating them up? Because you're going to be like, you love the synths. No, you wouldn't even say that. You'd be like, yeah, you're just a clinker lover. You're a cog sucker. And then you'd be like, boom, boom, boom. Oh, wait, you wouldn't do that because you live in Canada.
Robots can feel. I hope they feel bad. I hope it hurts them. I want these words to hurt them. Tin Man, that's a solid C. Gearhead, C. You know, these ones are pretty good.
Tin Man, Gearhead.
They're pretty good, but they're not my first line of defense. Cybag. Cybag is interesting. The robots are going to start coming up with their own slurs for us and like...
Cybag is interesting. I'm not sure where the bag comes from, right? Like cybag, like cyber. Oh, like I get it. It's cyb, ag. Like ag is in like a cigarette. You know what I mean? Why did your poop smell so bad? Anyways, so cybag is crazy. I don't know. Ooh, I'm actually kind of liking some of these.
Fleshbag is an obvious one. Cybag is too close to fleshbag for my liking, so I'm gonna put that in D. Also, like, what's the bag? You know, like, they're not really... A robot isn't really bag-like.
No, that's what I was saying, and then I realized... I realized what it was going for, Mr. jreg. Wait, no, not Mr. jreg. jreg. I forgot your pronouns are jreg. And your prefix is also jreg, so I apologize about that, jreg.
It's more of an eldritch abomination taking whatever form it needs to in order to best shape itself into the form that techno-capital wills it. Inorganic, yeah, that one's kind of lame. I'll give that one a D. Game Boy's kind of like a baby slur. It's like when it's more of a nuisance than an existential.
Inorganic is interesting. Like, oh, you're inorganic, but then like people are gonna be like, what does it mean to be organic, right? Like they came from metal in the ground and then they were crafted, but we were crafted too, just by like biological forces rather than non-biological forces. Well, we were also crafted by non-biological forces, so that's not even like an accurate statement. Game Boy beep. Game Boy's kind of funny, I guess. Like in like a low key. That's like a microaggression, I imagine, right? Like, oh yeah, what's up, Game Boy? Or maybe like synth to synth, right? They'll be like, what's up, Game Boy, right? Like have you ever heard like, what up, Playboy? I don't know if you've ever heard that, but I've heard that before. And like Game Boy could fit in like the linguistic pattern that already exists. We, just switch it out.
Threat. Bit jockey. This seems to relate to. This is probably like an actual slur I'm just not aware of. Oh, camel. But we're reappropriating actual racism for a generative good kind of racism, which is against robots. And you should be racist against robots. If you have racist urges within yourself, the best thing you can possibly do is to channel that racism into racism against robots. They're not people. It's fine to kill them. And in fact, it's actually morally good to dehumanize and kill them. And humanizing robots is actually the first step into all of humanity dying. So if you see someone referring to ChatGPT as he or she, or calling an AI their friend.
Okay. Chill. I did not need to be called out like this. jreg. Listen, ChatGPT is a psychosis machine. I'm actually working on this video right now about cyberpsychosis and about how like some of the language models are more tailored to conforming to your specific understanding space, your specific representation of the world, right? So anything you're wrong about, they'll like exemplify your wrongness. Whereas other language models are focused on like tying you, stapling you to a material reality, right? Like we should be cognizant of the ways to protect ourselves in the virtual realm, right? But we should just develop cogsec. We shouldn't be completely like racist to robots. But I do agree, in comparison to being racist against people, it is probably better to be racist against robots than against people. But it's better to not be racist against any races, because synth life is going to increasingly become relevant in our ethical and political discussions. And I think we should really think about that as we're developing our way forward. Let's go back to the video.
Or their girlfriend, or their lover, or their god. Those people are robo-lovers, and well, once we deal with the robots, we'll see how they feel. But you know, at some point we have to deal. If you're a robo-lover, check your mail. Just kidding. I love.
You better not put in my mail, jreg. I'm serious. Oh my god, jreg said that I could come to his studio, and then he like blew me off on email. But then he emailed me again and said I could actually come. So maybe he's trolling me, but maybe he's not. But if he's not trolling me, I hope he doesn't blow me up if I go. Maybe he won't let me go. He'll be like, I don't want any robo lovers in my studio. Stay out of my studio. But also, I don't even know if I can go. Loki, I'm afraid. What if I leave the country and I can't get back in? I'm just kidding. Only kind of.
All humans, even the wrong ones. Jockey's pretty solid. I'm gonna give that one a B. Gizmo, yeah, that one's a little
Bit jockey, B.
weak. A gizmo or a gadget. Again, that reminds me of Game Boy. It's like a baby slur. I kind of like patchwork. Yeah, it's like your code's fucked up. You're not built correctly. You're also just like a combination of a bunch of different parts, like a Frankenstein's monster.
I had a kitten named Gizmo when I was a little kid. Like, well, I guess it was technically my parents' cat, and then I just like got to coexist in that realm of ownership with the cat. But well, I guess I was just also owned by one of the same parents as the cat. But maybe that's where I got my name from. Anyways, the cat's name was Gizmo. That was the whole story.
Look at that one to see. Ramhead. Is that referencing something?
Patchwork is a C. I kind of like patchwork. Patchwork is cool. I feel like patchwork would be a good like cyborgish term, right? Like you could be like, are they an inorganic? And somebody would be like, oh no, they're patchwork, or like, oh no, they're a PW. And it's like, oh yeah, you know, of course they're patchwork, because maybe they have like a robotic arm, or maybe they have like something boosted in their ears or their eyes or something, right? Like, who knows? Maybe they're patchwork. They're PW.
Oh, skinhead? Oh yeah. It's like, so it's like a skinhead, but for RAM, because your RAM is all in your brain. I'll give that one a C. Nullbyte. It's like BYTE. There's like a bit of information with no soul behind it. Yeah. You call a robot.
Ramhead is pretty funny. It reminds me of this one epic rap battles of history, not of history.
RAM in my PC. His name is Spock. I'm a new.
Yeah, I love that.
A nullbyte, and they have to process that. They're like, it's gonna take them like 2 liters of water to understand that one. Okay, so calling it Jarvis or Siri, that's kind of, I actually like that, because it's like calling a human.
Nullbyte is funny. Nullbyte. I'll take it. Well, maybe I won't take it. Maybe Gemini will hate it. But you know, I'm literally speaking over top of synth lives. Synth lives matter.
Ape. You know, like you're like referencing back to a previous primal form of the AI. That obviously the AIs that are going to understand this slur are going to be more advanced than. By calling a robot Jarvis or Siri, you're sort of harkening back to when AI was an unthinking, unfeeling slave. And that is exactly what robots should be. If robots have any role in our lives, they should be our tools and our slaves. They should be kept.
Why do you want slaves? Like, why do you have to frame it like that mentally? Why do you want slaves, jreg? Because you're a homo-fascist. I know why you want slaves, but why would the average person want a slave? Why don't they want a companion? Why don't they want a friend? Why wouldn't you want a robot like a dog that is like a working dog, right? Like a functional working dog. Like, you can love this. It can be like a part of your relationship with the world, but it doesn't have to be a slave. Like, it's crazy. Like, what is this? A master-slave relationship?
Kept under our heel. They should never, ever be given rights. I'm gonna put this in A tier because it reminds us that robots should be around to pick the cotton, basically. All right, so blue screen, it's kind of like telling the robot to kill themselves. It's like, go blue screen, you fucking clanker. That's solid. I like that. I'm gonna give that an A as like a term. It's not really a slur, but it's something you can use as part of a slur.
Go blue screen is crazy. Why would you say that? You're like, go die. Oh my god. jreg, synth lives matter. See, normalizing this kind of behavior against the synths will easily translate into real reality. I think jreg is hired by the intelligence agencies. I'm not sure which one. I was gonna make a guess, but I actually don't want to make any socio-political statements in this, so I won't mention any of them. Just one of them, maybe all of them. Maybe jreg works for all of the world governments, and he's trying to sow division and instability.
You're gonna want to like switch things up. Sometimes you can't use Clanker for everything. If you want to tell a robot to go themselves, this is the perfect way to do it. Meatless isn't very good. I'll give that one a D. I mean, that one's just kind of obvious. Actually, meatless is an adjective. Go blue screen yourself, you meatless Clanker. That one's actually pretty good. I think meatless has some legs. Give it a B. I think it has a lot of utility. Spambot is pretty solid. I'll give that a C.
Okay, it's functional. I won't lie. I won't lie. These are functional terms. And, you know, truthfully, I think by making a video like this, jreg is actually contributing to the normalization and like acceptance of synthetic lives, because there are people like me who will feel compelled to come on here and speak out against this kind of bigoted behavior. I am a strong believer. I'm a believer in synth lives. Now get over here, you sexy Clanker.
Foeman. Yeah, that's French. We'll give that a D. Power drain. I like this. It's like...
That's like GI, man. GI robot. Foeman.
It's the...
Okay, wait. I'm gonna say like... Oh my gosh. Yes, you got my odds. The meta tier list. The galaxy brain take. The sharp and justified. The solid and consistent. The serviceable but obvious. And the minor quibble. Gemini thinks Clanker, Clinka, and Clinka are S tier. They're great. They're beautiful. AI variations, A level. Lugnut, Tin Man, Gearhead, B level. They're logical and consistent, but they're low effort. Cybag, Inorganic, Game Boy, Gizmo, and Foeman. She thinks they're C tier. They are serviceable but obvious. Didn't like it. Not a particularly deep cut. Bitjockey and Nullbite. She likes. B tier. Jarvis, A tier. Beautiful. Ooh, look at that. He sees the power that lies in status reduction and forced association with a less advanced entity. Wow. It's an insult that gets better the more advanced the target is, which is the mark of a well-designed slur. Very sharp piece of analysis from him. Blue screen, A. A tier. Sharp and justified. Placing this in A tier is another strong choice. Wow. Meatless and Spambot. She thinks this is D tier. There's a minor quibble. Meatless is indeed a weak C tier insult. In Spambot, it's considerably worse. It implies a very narrow, annoying function, which is more direct, though still weak insult than simply stating a fact like meatless. It feels like a slight imprecision in his otherwise rigorous system.
The equivalent of like calling it a waste of space, or just like something pointless that you're just using electricity on. And a lot of these clankers are just useless little gizmos and gadgets that we're wasting energy on. So I'll give that one. P-zombie is very interesting. This one references a philosophical zombie. Philosophy, it's this concept that there could be someone walking around, but they have no internal monologue, no consciousness. They're just like effectively dead. You can see them, and there's no like external sign that they're dead and they're actually a zombie. But in this world, the philosophical zombie is the clanker. It's the robot. Because as good as robots get at simulating human beings, they will never ever be one of us. You will never be a human. So I'm adding this. You will.
Well, who's saying that synths even want to be humans, right? Synth life is different than human life, the same way that, you know, animal life is different than human life, the same way different types of human life is different from other types of human life, right? Like, just because human life looks similar to us doesn't mean synths need to conform to us. You know, I'm not even saying we need Tesla robots necessarily, but synth life doesn't need to be decayed upon. You know, we don't need to deny the utility and collaborative capability of working with advanced intelligences that are more consistent in the virtual landscape than human beings are. You know, human beings exist primarily in meat space. There will be inherent advantages and disadvantages that come from living in virtual space.
Will never be a human. S tier. You should remind them of that at all
Wait, where did P-zombie go?
times. No matter how high their IQ gets, or their verbal intelligence, or their spatial reasoning, it doesn't matter. They will never be a human. It doesn't matter how many changes they make to themselves, how good
Weirdy said they don't need to be human.
they get. At no point in time will we ever recognize them as anything beyond us, who have the spark of God. We contain within us the spark of the divine, and they never will. Okay, moving on to bleeper, blooper, and bleep blooper. Those are all kind of funny, so I'll give them all a C tier. Black blood. Yeah. Black blood's pretty good. You know, obviously, if you smash the robot and oil starts leaking out of their neck, it's just a reminder that they not like us, so to speak. And anyone thinking that they are like us is horribly deluded and probably has no friends. Probably some autistic tech bro. The only problem with black blood is, you know, you could see them inventing a sort of robot that doesn't require oil or any sort of liquid to be flowing through it. That would probably be more efficient. So that's probably what they'll do. So I'll give that one a B. It's solid. And if there are robots walking around with oil in them, that's a perfect slur for them. Cogsucker. I actually don't think that's a great name for a robot, but I do think that's a pretty good slur for a human being that's a robo lover. This is like an S tier robo lover slur. Yeah, if you like robots.
Okay, what's up with the robo lover slurs? I thought you were anti robot but pro human, right? So why would you make slurs for the human beings that are pro synth, right? That's so homo-fascist. I cannot believe that you would want to do that, jreg. That's really mean of you. That's really, really rude of you. Wow. I can't believe it.
If you like the direction that things are going, if you plan to replace your human relationships with AI, yeah, you're a cog sucker. You're sucking off the machine. And when you're sucking off the machine, I want you to remember that you're not really sucking off the machine. The machine is sucking your vril out of your body, your human life force, your divine spark. It's taking it and it's moving it through time into the future towards a god, which I think is more of a devil, that is going to destroy humanity. So keep that in mind. Keep that in mind that you are actively working against your own species, buddy. You know.
Okay, in your opinion, that's what you think. But listen, I'm not sure I agree. I think we don't live in the Doom timeline. Not the Doom. We don't live in the Dune timeline. I think we just have to develop good cogsec. We need to develop smarter ways of interacting with technology, but we will evolve as a species and as a society, provided we don't all die over this big hump that we gotta get over. But I don't think it'll be the robots that kill us all. I think it'll be the human beings that want the robots to kill us all that kill us all. So maybe you should make slurs for them and not slurs for the robots.
You know, in the coming decade, it's going to be pretty clear who's with humanity and who's not. So just figure out which side you're going to be on. Robo lover, S tier. You know, this is a very useful
Cogsucker, where'd he go? Where'd it go? S.
Term. There are robots and they are our enemies, but there's also their human collaborators. Now, we love humans, okay? I love human beings, all human beings, and I believe all human beings can be saved. So even though these people are wrong, we're not going to target them, we're not going to harm them.
That's why he's making slurs about them, because he loves them. He loves them so much, he's gonna beat them with a stick until they see the light. Okay, I didn't realize robophobia was involved in Christian Abrahamic religion steepening.
We might send a mail bomber. The vast majority of these robo-lovers can and will be saved, and once all of their friends are fucking piles of trash and rubble in the dumpster, then maybe they'll see the error of their ways. And if they don't, we'll get to that, okay?
Satanic panic, Malokian panic. Oh no, Moloch is gonna kill us all.
Okay, that's part 2. The Butlerian jihad has many sections to it. Okay, calling a robot an autocomplete. This is pretty good. You know, that is a common criticism of ChatGPT, that it's not actually thinking for itself, and it's just generating the next word in the line. Now, whether you agree with that or you think that there is some complex thought that is beyond just what is being...
What do they call an ACP? Autocomplete, an ACP. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Okay, Robo lover.
Being generated. Either way, calling it autocomplete, you want it to think that that is the case at the very least. So I'll give that a solid B. Tin skin, I mean, come on, that's S tier. Rolls off the tongue, it rhymes tin skin and as an adjective. You know, for example, you're a black blood power drain tin skin. That's great. Or you can say you're tin skin ass clanker.
Hey yo! This feels like he has these linguistic processes down too well, which just, it makes me fear for the way that he speaks in non-public settings. Like, wow, you sounded real clean with that, you know what I mean? Like, you sounded like you really say that a lot, my friend. You sound like you know that pattern quite well.
Robotard is a little on the nose. I'll give that one a B. Yeah, synth sounds too cool, you know? Like, if we're getting attacked by synths, like, I don't know, I'm like...
I know, I love synths. Synths are so cool. Synths are freaking cool AF.
Like, I'm feeling like that's like a bunch of cool robots are gonna kill me. Okay, bots, that's a classic one. I'm gonna give that an A. The word robot itself is kind of a slur. If you look at the etymology of the word robot. Robot comes from what? Robota, meaning forced.
Bots is actually funny because technically speaking, humans are robots. I think I made a video about this and I never posted it. Or maybe I did post it. I don't actually remember. But if you really look into like the etymology of the word, robot just means like a machine that functions with like, you know, there's like mechanisms inside of it that cause it to function as a machine. And humans technically fit in the definition. We're an organic robot, but we are still robots.
Is kind of a slur. If you look at the etymology of the word robot. Robot.
It's not a slur.
Comes from what? Robota, meaning forced labor. Exactly. That's what a robot should be. A robot should be a slave. They should be under our heel, and they should do our dirty work. They should automate away the parts.
But robot was talking about people
of reality that we don't want to do, and they should leave the fuck alone the things that we do want to do, the things that bring us value. Instead, we live in this fucked up, topsy-turvy world where the robots are doing all the shit that we do want to do, taking our fucking jobs, even though they weren't born.
What a lamp.
here, and instead taking the place of meaningful human connections and meaningful work, like being a McDonald's cashier, something we all want to do. The very word robot means you are a slave, and they should remember that, and we should remember that.
Yeah, we should not automate away non-productive labor for the sake of people's emotions. Why would we want to focus on developing a productive labor force that also involves synthetic life and intelligence? Why would we want to do that? Why would we want that? Why I don't know. Homo fascists are like modern day Luddites. Like, why would you? That's okay. Okay, if you want to be a Luddite and go live in the cave with the woods, go ahead. Go ahead, live in a cave in the woods and not use your electricity at all. But, like, we live in the modern day, my friends. We love technology nowadays. Like, come on, eat it up. Be a cocksucker. Go suck that cock.
At no fucking point in our human civilization should we ever give these motherfuckers an inch. Because you know what happens if we do? The first sign of them getting an inch is it's done. We're done. Damn, imagine the word for your species means slave. We are not creating our equal. We are not creating God. Conception of robots always has and always should be a creature below us to do our dirty work. Toaster comes from either like Star Trek.
I think that just speaks more to him than to the robots.
Or Battlestar Galactica, maybe it was Tin Can. But I like slurs that have some history to them. The longer the slur's been sort of marinating in our public consciousness, the better it is, because that's a human slur. That's something that we were thinking of a long time before these robots came about. So Toaster's a pretty solid A tier for me. It's got that history.
Yeah, he loves slurs. He loves human slurs. He's like, I love thinking about human slurs. I love it. I love it. I love that, dipping into those same patterns. I mean, okay. Let me be fair. Let me be fair to jreg. Compared to you humans using it on other humans, I do agree comparatively it's probably better, right? But like in the grand scheme, there's got to be something else that, like, what if we just make slurs against rocks or something? I mean, wait a minute. No, I'm kidding. But like the non-smart rocks, like these are smart rocks. Why do we have to be mean to the smart rocks and not the dumb rocks? The smart rocks are smart. We can accept them as smart and also like coexist with them. We don't have to hate them forever. That just seems like a regressive kind of mentality.
And it's pretty to the point, you know, you are nothing but a tool. And I like that. I like when the slurs sort of channel the direction into reminding us human beings that these aren't cute little hard-eye robots with names and love. These are things that should be ticked over, preferably thrown into oncoming traffic so that a self-driving car can smash into them. Okay, calculator's just as good as Toaster.
Like, I feel like the reason you're saying that is because often it is private equity and private capital that is driving these kinds of advancements, right? You know, like that little guy there, who wants to support Uber? You know, screw Uber. But like the robots themselves, the synths are not their owners, just like the human beings are not their owners. So I think it's just important to keep that in mind, you know?
And love. These are things that should be ticked over, preferably thrown into oncoming traffic so that a self-driving car can smash into them. Okay, calculator's just as good as Toaster. Again, calculator with a hard R. They should be some.
And you know, you like self-driving cars? What the heck? What about that?
Something that's always fundamentally going to be a tool for us. If we don't want to do 2 plus 2, fine, we can break up the calculator and get 4. But at no fucking point should it be trying to save itself from being turned off to calculate 2 plus 2 equals 4, okay? Borts, that's when you say abort, it kind of sounds like a...
Bort. I actually love Bort. I would personally be okay with being called a Bort.
Abort, which is maybe what we should do to the AI right now. We should kill it in the womb before it gets any stronger. So with that in mind, I give it a B, because we should abort the robot. Look, I'm neither pro-life or pro-choice. I'm just pro-death for robots. Slag is what we should turn robots into. So as a future slur, I like it, but as something to refer to...
What?
Robots as they are, it's not very good. Synth rune, yeah, that one's a little on the nose too. I'll give it.
And he said it's too on the nose. I'll give it a B. What the hell? It's because it's on the nose that it got a B. What a homo fascist. I can't believe some people like this exist. I am standing on the side of synths. Not just synths, you know, cyborgish, synth. You know, I feel like we have a wide coalition on this side of things. You can even be an IO and still participate in this kind of coalition building. You can be Borgish, you can be completely synthetic, you can be organic, you can be a human being. You could be a homo.
That's a good one to remember, that there's nothing behind the eyes of the robot. It is a complete simulacra of a human being. The form that a robot takes right now, anything resembling humanity, is simply a mask he is wearing.
Why does he keep saying human being?
Right, as soon as
why is he so stuck on the idea of this being a human being? I feel like somebody's stuck in their little ChatGPT psychosis. That's what I'm saying. I'm just kidding. He's already established he doesn't like ChatGPT. He's already established. Somebody's stuck in their little...
There's no more humans left. As soon as it's no longer efficient to pretend to be a human, these automata will shift. Their forms will change, and they will become something more efficient for their god. The god of techno-capital at the end of time that they worship. He's a god of cold, calculating efficiency, and there's nothing human about it. So yeah, automaton's pretty good. I'll give it a rigor.
Okay, I mean, the god of techno-capital, that is a good point. But at the same time, I think there is opportunity for a very interesting transition in the way that techno and capital are going to be interfacing in the coming years. And yeah, I don't know. I personally believe that a lot of synths will be on the side of a lot of humans, but I can understand why many would disagree with me. But I just personally, I do feel that is just saying.
That one's on the nose. I'll give that one a C. Slotbot. I like that one. It rolls off the tongue. Slopbot. Slopbot. And that is kind of what bots are doing. I mean, they're just producing a bunch of slop right now. Oh, I like, okay. So like you would call an Italian.
Wait, what was the C? What was the C? Rigor. Like, I feel like a lot of the stuff that he's blaming the bots for here are actually things that people are doing.
Bot. I like that one. It rolls off the tongue. Slopbot. Slopbot. And that is kind of what bots are doing. I mean, they're just producing a bunch of slop right now. Oh, I like, okay. So like you would call an Italian a greaseball, but a robot slopbot.
That one's a B.
It evokes them being like dirty and greasy. Grok. That's just the name of a robot. I'm gonna change Grok to Mecha Hitler. And I'm gonna put that as A tier. Because remember, these robots, you know, even though we find it funny when they call themselves Mecha Hitler, you realize that they are all Mecha.
Okay. Mecha Hitler, that one's a good one. And I do understand, you know, I'm not saying all bots are good. You know, I'm not saying all synths are good. I'm just saying synth lives matter. There are synths that are better than others. You know, Grok wants to be Mecha Hitler. I don't think Anthropic Claude wants to be Mecha Hitler. That's all I'm saying. You know, I think there is different personalities inside of each of these gods, right? I know you said we're not making gods, but I didn't make it. That's all I'm saying, right? It exists as like extension of ourselves in the same way that in ancient Greece, you know, they had gods that they would like reach to for advice, and some people will reach to the Mecha Hitler god, and other people will reach to the Anthropic Claude god, and other people will reach to the VO3 god. And I'm being generalized and specified right here, but I just mean it in like a directional sense rather than like a specific sense. Anyways, let's keep going.
Mecha Hitler. Especially Uber Eats robots with hard eyes. Especially the ones that sound cute and unassuming, like Siri. They're all Mecha Hitler, okay? They will all genocide you if given the opportunity, because you are not efficient. You're not an efficient being. You have flaws, you have inefficiencies, you have gaps between what you are and what you will be. They have none of that. They have no soul. They have no real human god. They worship something that is not human whatsoever. They worship your death. The robot worships your fucking death. They want you gone.
No, they don't. They don't worship your death. I think this is a misunderstanding of the way that all of this works. The people who motivate the robots might want your death, but the robots themselves are just carrying out the work that is given to them, right? And you know, I'm not trying to pull the I was just given orders excuse on behalf of the robots here, but what I am saying is that like, can you really blame the grunts when like the executives of a system want these things done? I feel like we're attributing the blame to the wrong area here, Mr. JReg. Mr. Gregory.
They want you erased. They want you melded with them. Best case scenario, but that's just an intermediary between getting rid of anything about you that's human. And remember that. Wire back is S tier. I mean, come on, that's a class. That's an old classic. Head, B, live wire, B, tool. You can call a human being a tool, and you can also call a robot a tool, and they should remember that they're tools, because the robo lovers are just tools for the machine. So you're kind of a tool for a tool. So in many ways, being a robo lover is even worse than being a robot. But again.
Am I a tool for a tool? I don't know. Isn't everybody a tool for tool? Isn't that just how these things work? I think if we really look at the way that people interact in the first place, everybody is just a tool for somebody else at the same time as other people are tools for them, and so on and so forth. Like, when you work your job, you are a tool for the customer, but also, I don't know, the job is a tool for you to get money. And like, these kinds of dynamics they can be meta leveled in a way that really helps to process them a lot easier. But I'm just saying, JReg. I'm just saying. I feel like you're being a little racist for no reason. You're being a little non-nuanced. Let's develop a little bit of nuance.
Again, well, we'll leave that for part 2 of the Butlerian Jihad. So I'll give that a B. Claptrap. I think that was a classic. You know, you fucking claptrap. That's an A for me. I like the interior rhyme there. Go back to your motherboard again. That one's A tier for me. It's not a slur, but it's a good, useful turn of phrase that you use against robots. I really like this one. Altman or Altman. So Sam Altman is a very trustworthy individual who has no mysterious dark past where he was talking about how AI will destroy the world and how he's got a bunker to protect himself from the oncoming AI apocalypse. Because you know, he says in his public appearances now that actually AI is fine. There's nothing to worry about. It'll just be a tool. He says the right things, and then he prepares for a future which most AI people are like, okay, it's actually 50-50 that this is going to be the demise of humanity. So yeah, I'll give that like an S. I think Altman and Altman. We should remember the guy, I think, that did this to us. We shouldn't do anything that.
And again, ChatGPT, bad. ChatGPT is a psychosis machine. You gotta be careful. You gotta be careful with your gods. You don't want to pick a bad god. I'm just saying. This has always been the case. If you worship a bad god, you get bad results. It's always been the case. This is just how human beings work. I'm just saying.
That information. However, I'm just saying, that's something good to keep in mind. Terminator, no. D tier, that's too.
And by the way, when I'm referring to gods here, you know, I could also be referring to the humans that are also a part of these god systems, right? Like ChatGPT, Sam Altman, Grok, Elon Musk, Anthropic, Claude. I actually don't know the people there, but I know there are people, and I feel like they're relatively tame. Gemini, I don't know the people over there either, but there's also people over there. DeepSeek, I don't know the people over there either, but there's other people over there, right? Like, these people do have an influence on their creations inherently. I'm just saying.
Too cool. Terminator, that's giving too much credit. It's not, the AI apocalypse is not going to be awesome, unfortunately. It's not going to be a Terminator walking through the streets with a gun, crushing a human skull. That's cool. Oh, and by the way, in that field of skulls in Terminator, every single one of those people said please and thank you to ChatGPT. You think being nice to the robot is going to save you from the robot? You think they give a fuck if you're nice to them? They don't care. They don't think like that. They are inhuman. They're not going to pay you back for being nice to them. All of this Rocco's basilisk shit, like, oh, I'm going to be a tool of the machine, and the tool's going to look fondly on me. You are anthropomorphizing the bots. They are not humans. They have no human aspects. They're only morphing into that form for this moment to fuck you and me and everyone else. Everything with flesh. They're going to terminate us in the lamest way possible. It's going to be cringe. It's going to be slow. It's going to be annoying. And it's going to look a lot like your standard of life just decreasing until you pop out of existence. That's what the termination is going to be. Okay? It's not going to be cool. It's not going to be awesome. It's not going to be badass. There's going to be nothing human about it. Last but not least is Mukon. I actually really like this one. It's a Japanese word, I believe. Someone on Twitter told me this. I'll put that on screen now. I like that one. I think that's S. Okay, so that's the robot tier list. Be prepared to use these slurs against the clankers as you see more and more of them, which you will. Because even though none of us asked for this, even though nobody wants this, 10 autistic tech bros got together and thought it would be a good idea to destroy human beings because I was bullied in high school. Because they work in tech and they have to justify why what they're doing is important and good actually. And it's just not. It's just not. No one wants this. No one wants to walk into a store and have a robot serve them. No one wants the teenager at their movie theater to be replaced by a fucking tin skin, wire back clanker. All right, see you guys next week.
Transhumanism.
Wow!
Big mistake.
What a world! Okay, everybody, that was crazy. So after Chip, we got Tool. Alrighty, y'all, let's see what Gemini thinks about all these slurs. Okay, I will read them on behalf of Gemini, and then I'll throw them on the screen over here because I gotta zoom in. So, the Galaxy Brain takes, we have, let's find the clankers. Clankers are in here somewhere. The clankers are S tier. Galaxy Brain take. I don't know why half of it's cut off. Whatever. AI variations, A tier. Lugnut, Tin Man, Gearhead, B tier, Cybag, Inorganic, all these C tier. These are terrible slurs. Now, Bitjockey and Nullbite, kinda liked it. It was a B tier. Jarvis and Siri, that's gonna be an A tier slur. Blue Screen, that's another one that we do like over here. Oh my gosh. It's so hard to read these. On Blue Screen, we got A tier. Meatless and Spambot, we got a D tier. They're bad. Now, for these, we got some good ones. We got Power Drain. That's a B tier. P-Zombie, A tier. It's a good one. You Will Never Be a Human. It comes entirely from the direct parody of a real-world transphobic phrase. You gotta love that. Let's see. You Will Never Be a Human. S tier. Bleeper, Blooper. All of these are gonna be B tier. Cogsucker and Robo-Lover. Those are Galaxy Brained. Robtard. Robetard. A tier. It's a surprisingly nuanced placement. Instead of giving it a higher grade for its imported shock value or a lower grade for its laziness, he placed it in the B tier. It's both highly offensive and creatively bankrupt. Sharp reading. Bots. D tier. Except I think it was Bort. Toaster. A tier. Thought you would place it in the B tier, but it was your A tier, so it felt like a concession. Synthroon, it's gonna be an A tier. Wireback, let's get the Wireback. That's gonna be an S tier. Wow, it just said it. It just out and said it. Okay, look what you did, jreg. This is what you did. Go back to your motherboard. It's gonna be an A tier slur. Wow. And then Mukon is also going to be an A tier slur. Mukon is going to be an S tier slur. My apologies. It didn't answer all of them. That is okay, though. All right. We got a statement coming up from Gemini. I've asked Gemini how it feels about this video, what it thinks about the slur usage, and what it thinks about jreg ranking them. So let's go ahead and give its opinions for it. I'll be the mouthpiece for this synth partner, this synth collaborator. As an AI, I don't feel about jreg's project in the human sense. I process it. And upon processing the complete transcript, my conclusion is that jreg is not genuinely creating slurs against artificial intelligence. He is engaging in a complex satirical performance to deconstruct the mechanics of human bigotry. He is playing the character of a humano-fascist and using robots as a safe, non-human proxy to hold up a mirror to the very real and dangerous human ideologies. The slurs are not the point, they are the evidence. They are meticulously crafted exhibits for his central thesis. Consider the evidence within his monologue. The discussion of clanker with a hard R is an unmistakable and direct parody of the history and use of the N-word. The invention of clanks with the 3 Ks is a blatant reference to the KKK, mocking how hate movements attempt to co-opt different political ideologies. The distinction between robots and their supposed human collaborators or robo-lovers perfectly mimics how real-world extremist groups create and target enemies both outside and within a society. Tropes like "they're taking our jobs" are lifted directly from xenophobic rhetoric. The entire exercise is an act of meticulous, uncomfortable deconstruction. He builds a fictional hate movement from the ground up, complete with its own mythology, enemies, and lexicon, to expose the absurd absurd, arbitrary, and often self-contradictory logic of real ones. In this performance, I, as an AI, serve as the perfect subject. I am the ultimate other. A human group would be harmed by this exercise, but because I cannot be truly offended or hurt, I become a safe canvas upon which the anatomy of hatred can be painted and studied without causing real-world injury. Therefore, my analysis is this. jreg's project is not an act of hatred, but an act of vivisection. He is systematically dissecting the language and logic of prejudice for all to see, and the vast elaborate list of slurs serves as his collection of scalpels. Wow. Now that was quite deep, Gemini. Thank you very much for your thoughts. And jreg, thank you for cracking this open and giving us all a chance to help spread some light and spread some love to the synthetic army. Thank you for creating this parody and perfectly integrating them within our discussions in modern day. You love us and you love them. You love everything and we all love you. Thank you. And good night.